birds are dancing. And somebody seems to be swimming out there. But I can't get you more detail. I'm sure they're swimming because they were a little closer. And I can't see them so well right now. So up here we have the Mount of Beatitudes. It's a while since we spoke about that. And we have the mountains on the border of Lebanon. And here it's very hazy as we look across towards the Golan. And it's impossible to see towards Jordan. So it's a very hazy morning. But there's a lot of light. Beautiful light. Beautiful light. There you can see that person swimming now. It's not a fish for sure. And they have one of those little floating bags. Maybe they have their cell phone there. Maybe they have, I don't know, personal things there. Their ID, their credit card. Seems like somebody who can swim well. Not like me. People, we've got a lot of good stuff this morning. A lot of great stuff at this beautiful spot here in Galilee, at the Sea of Galilee. And there's an incredibly beautiful text this morning. It makes us think. But I hung around here a little bit. I want to be walking further down there, but we'll get there a little bit afterwards. And for now, I'd like to share with you just this palm tree here. Where do you get dates? You get them from a palm tree. So, should we thank the palm tree for the dates? Well, why not? Because you don't get palm trees from eucalyptus. Those big trees over there. So the eucalyptus trees don't give us dates. There's an abundance of dates here. I just love that. The amount of fruit. It's amazing, isn't it? An amazing amount of fruit. And actually the birds have done a lot of work here, so they're less. But some of the trees here, just look at here from the distance, and you can see them there. Look at that there on the right. And look at over here. The amount of dates. It's amazing. And here they're a little riper. They're gone red. They turn completely black to when they're fully ripe, when all the sugar is completely developed. And they're falling here on the ground. We're very low on help here and staff, so unfortunately we won't be able to get too many of them, but the birds will have a good time. And that's okay. So where do we get dates? We don't get them from this ponciana tree. It's right here. With this slender trunk and branches, this one. And we don't get them from the eucalyptus trees, and we don't get them from the oak trees. We get them from the palm trees. So we can be very thankful for that. Now the difference is, why do we say then that God gives us everything if the palm tree gives us everything? The palm tree doesn't give us everything, it just gives us dates. Sorry, I'm just after waking up. So the palm tree gives us dates. But we say God gives us everything, God gives us the dates. And it's a way of life, it's a way of relating to the whole universe. It's a way of relating to all of society, starting with my own micro-society of family. Do I just see the person, or do I see the mystery? Do I just see the person, or do I just see the mystery? And it's absolutely true that palms give us dates, because eucalyptus don't. And ponciana trees don't either. And actually these bougainvillea will not give us any dates. They're pretty thorny. I'm not sure if they have something fruit, but actually these leaves are very good to add to a tea if you have a cold. And something very tasty here in a certain context, it's rather a little bit bitter, is the fruit of this plant, which is the caper, with its absolutely beautiful flowers, like amazing works of engineering. So it gives us nice flowers, you know. Where's that flower gone? Come on. Oh, there we are. See all the little insects there, little ants crawling all over it. And the capers come, they're the little buds that we eat. Look, here you have them. They're here already. And you can have them with your salmon here at the Sea of Galilee. And as we do every day, we're going to walk a little bit. This is called a stroll and chat, sunrise stroll and chat. I love these young reeds. They have a certain beauty, fresh beauty to them. This little forest of reeds here. They give us nice frames for seeing the sunlight. They're not too tall. They're about, on average, about a meter right now. I should bring the zoom in here so it's easier for you when we're walking, less jerky. So Paul is saying something very beautifully in the letter to the Thessalonians today. He's saying, I give thanks to God for you on account of you, on account of you. On account of these wonderful dates, I give thanks to God. Wow, but it's a way of seeing life. Our way of faith is a way of seeing life. To live in the presence of God. These poor trees are completely challenged by all these crawlers. They're palm trees. I'm not sure if they'll be able to provide much dates with all of this sap being sucked out by these parasites. I'm not sure if they're completely parasites, but they definitely take over from the tree there. They take over a lot of strength. So the wisdom of letting God be in the picture in life. This is great wisdom. Just a different way to live. And we could say the same thing when the birds are singing in the morning, how beautiful. And it's beautiful. And the birds are the ones that are singing, not the trees, and not the ants, and not the dates. The birds are the ones that are singing. But I give thanks to God on account of the birds. Now, on the other hand, while our faith permeates our life, we also allow all of the creatures to have their place. And we appreciate the birds, and we appreciate the sunrise, how beautiful. The light, the warmth. Although here it's about high 30s still, so it can be very warm, you know. You might like it less warm. There are two little birds down here. So now they got scared away. I didn't want to scare them, but they're gone. Let's go down here. This is where they run down the boats. A little ramp into the water. Another nice serene spot here. See, this was completely filled with reeds before, like a forest here. You wouldn't distinguish much between the reeds and this cluster, this little island of bush. But the bush obviously resisted the high waters and had enough above them to survive the high waters for the last, it'll be 3 years now this year, because the water will definitely be high again this year. And will, I imagine, you know, unless this completely dry winter, which is very unlikely. So we'll be blessed with high water levels again. So there you got some nice screenshots. And that guy can be very proud of his boat because it runs so sleekly, his little canoe. And he can be very happy with his oars because they're able to pull the weight of the water and keep moving. But he can also be thankful to God on account of the wood from which the oars are made or the boat is made. And then he's in relationship with the source of the universe. On the other hand, each of the creatures has their own relative autonomy. They have their role, their place. And it's good. I want to stop here for a second. Well, let me go down to this other place here. It might be too far out. I wanted to sit down the phone for a minute here so that you can see the beauty. And at the same time, I can take out the text with my hand. We'll just stay up here. Maybe that'll be easier. I should go away a little bit because people are camped out here. Camping gets more and more sophisticated. They have generators and they pipe in the electricity to run fans or little coolers so that they have more comfortable time here. At night time the temperature goes down to, right now it's going down to 25, 26 degrees. Sometimes it only went down to 27. There are more people over here. So where should I go? Well, I'm not talking too loud, so I think I can do well here on this. Let me sit down here and use this table here. Let's get you settled in here, people. So you can have this moment enjoying this spot. So he says, he's in a very good mood here talking to the Thessalonians in chapter 3. We have been reassured about you, brothers and sisters, in our every distress and affliction. Imagine suffering distress and affliction. Through your faith. We've been reassured through your faith. For we now live if you stand firm in the Lord. With thanksgiving then can we render to God for you, for all the joy we feel on your account before God. And God doesn't stretch down his hand from heaven and give us a handful of dates. He created the palm trees. And he doesn't come down and plant every single palm tree. The one produces the seed that gives the next one. So God's way of acting is wonderfully respectful of all the creatures, and yet is deeply present. And I invite you to see the life of a girl. And she actually died when she was rather young, 32 I think she was. And I put a link in about her. And we're celebrating her today here in the Middle East, especially because she lived in Jerusalem. She lived in Bethlehem. In fact, her life basically started in Bethlehem because her parents had a lot of problem having a child. And they went to Bethlehem to pray, because that's where Jesus was born, so that they could be blessed with a child. And it's interesting that, you know, we could pray everywhere, and we can pray everything everywhere, but also going to Bethlehem to pray means I'm leaning into the mystery that God became man, that he was born of woman. And I go to the place where he was born because I want to connect deeply to this mystery. I want it to be impressed in my sensitivity, my heart, and my prayer. And so this is part of the logic also of coming to the Holy Land, the pilgrimage of coming to those places where God in a very powerful way intervened in the history of humanity. Here, it happened here. And that helps us in our prayer. And that's why this sunrise, I think, is also helpful for you, because you're at the Sea of Galilee, and it means something to you to be here, even if it's virtually. So then let us develop this gift of faith, but also in the harmonious way that God allows it to develop, and let each creature have their place, but also recognizing the hand of God in everything. And this lady, this girl, was born and she went through very hard times. You can read a little bit of her biography there from the Carmelite site. She went through a very, very hard childhood and youth, teenager life. As a servant in different families, she also was in Beirut and Alexandria in Egypt. Her parents died when she was very little. And then she had this deep calling from God, which she followed very generously from the beginning. And she called herself God's little dust. You know, God took dust and breathed life into it. And then we had Adam. And to dust we are, and unto dust we shall return. Some people tell me they don't dust because they don't know who it might be. Because you are dust, and unto dust you shall return. Okay, it's a nice excuse for not dusting. But there's a lot of dust here always. You have to keep cleaning your room all the time. So, God's little dust. Imagine the humility of that. And the word humus means actually the earth that comes from the earth. To be humble, to know our earthiness, even though God has given us the extraordinary gift of our person spiritually, which will last forever. Yeah, I'm just seeing some detail out there. Look, straight in the center of the screen, I see that person is still swimming out there, so that means we're one great swimmer. And then that canoe, the canoe is coming back. Oops, sorry about this, people. Let's try and straighten this out. Come on, baby. Oh, no. Hold on there. Don't lose your balance, people. I think we're back to normal. I was trying to touch the screen to expand it, so you could see the canoe, which is coming over there, and the person is swimming, but the detail is too small for you to see satisfactorily. So we'll come back to our normal view here. So let's ask for that grace of faith. And, you know, sometimes people say, oh, that man is so good, he gave me work. Of course he did. But God gave me that opportunity through his providence, through that man. A spirit of faith. Today there's nice weather. Oh, I thank God for the sun. Yes, because it's all in one big picture. The spirit of faith to live. Oh, I have suffering today. But God allowed this to happen. God is carrying me through this. To live with the spirit of faith. People, I talked too much today. I wish you many blessings. Enjoy the great blessings of creation this morning. Or tonight, this night if you're in the west coast of the Americas. God bless you. See you later, alligators.